picture-perfect summer evening. Warm, clear skies, the glow of stadium lights spilling over Slavosky Field, and the sound of neighbors gathering together. This year's Bedford Annual Night Out softball game was more than a friendly rivalry. It was a tribute to a man whose life work was building bridges between people, Lieutenant Michael Bernard. Mike passed away unexpectedly earlier this year, leaving behind a legacy of service, kindness, and connection. He was a driving force behind National Night Out here in Bedford, an event celebrated across the country on the first Tuesday in August. Bedford Police Chief Dan DeWitty provided a little more insight to what National Night Out is about.
National Night Out is a chance that we can come together with the community, other than the community seeing us in the police officers' uniforms, fire departments, or going to a service call. We're in plain clothes, we're out there just playing softball, having a lot of fun. And Mike Bernard, that we lost earlier this year, was all about community policing. He loved community policing. This was him. He ran this thing for 10 years, running this. This is one of his favorite nights of the year.
For Mike Bernard, National Night Out wasn't just an annual event. It was a mission he lived every single day. As Bedford's community policing officer, he worked tirelessly to foster relationships with seniors, with students, with families across town. He was a familiar face, a trusted friend, and a constant advocate for the idea that safety begins with strong connections.
Mike set the bar for community policing. There's no question about it. He was absolutely the best at it, and he understood the fundamentals of why it was important and what that meant to the community. And again, making that connection with the public. It was all about that and how it would better policing by having those connections with the community. And everybody's walking in his footsteps, trying to do it the way he used to do it.
Hard to put in words. He was a wonderful person, great police officer, father, husband, sorely missed in this town. And he did a lot for us, and I miss him. I think he was an asset, and I'm hoping that he's up in heaven right now, just looking down and saying, have fun, guys. That's what it's all about.
On this National Night Out, Bedford honored Lieutenant Bernard's legacy. Before the game, Mike's wife, Brenda, and their two sons, Cam and Ben, stepped onto the field. Brenda delivered the ceremonial first pitch while Cam and Ben took their spots in the lineup for Team Police. Every player on both teams wore his name, Bernard, across their backs, a small detail that spoke volumes. The game itself, Bedford Police versus Bedford Fire, was spirited but friendly. Slavosky Field was filled with friends, neighbors, and Mike's peers, all there to celebrate the man they knew as not only an officer, but a mentor, a teammate, and a true friend. When he wasn't in uniform, Mike was still serving his community, producing safety videos and public service announcements with BCTV and WBNH, lending his voice as a passionate hockey broadcast color analyst for Bedford High School games, and making sure every project he touched carried the same care and enthusiasm he brought to his police work.
He was a gentle giant. Everybody thought he was a big, rough, tough guy, which he was, but he was so sensitive. He very was. And my image of remembering him was standing by his motorcycle down at 101-114 with his arms folded and staring at the traffic. And I think he'd slowed people down by just standing there. But he was such a nice guy. I can't say enough about him.
He was my little brother, and I remember all the times when he used to come home from wrestling school, because he was a wrestler, and my dad would say to him, he'd say, "Oh, where are you going?" He says, "I'm going to wrestling school." My father used to say, "Yeah, that's not wrestling school, that's acting school." You know, so he was just a character, and again, there isn't a day that goes by that I don't think about my brother Mike.
From little kids up to the elderly, everybody loved Mike Bernard. He never devious bone in his body. He looked the part as a police officer that's very professional, but he's a big teddy bear, the most genuine person you would see. And like I said earlier tonight, it's hard that the community is not just myself, but the whole department is still grieving and hurting the loss that we had this year.
In the final inning, a pop fly drifted into the summer night, and it was Ben Bernard, the love raised, who made the catch for the third and final out, sealing the victory for Team Police. It was a scene that felt like it could have been scripted, the perfect ending to a night dedicated to Mike's memory. Under the lights of Slavosky Field, this year's National Night Out softball game was about more than runs and hits. It was about connection, about honoring a man who gave everything to his community, and about reminding us that the strongest teams are the ones we build together. Lieutenant Michael Bernard's legacy lives on in the friendships he forged, the trust he inspired, and the community he helped strengthen, one person at a time.